What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for the start of a new series, which I am calling the Tune-Up, which essentially is going to be kind of a collection of swing thoughts, swing feels, things that I'm working on, things that have helped me and maybe I hope will be helpful for you guys. I do want to preface this video and this entire series with saying I am doing these videos in the hopes to just relay information that has helped me. By no means am I a golf professional. Obviously, most of the time I suck at golf. So a lot of times I am looking for advice as much as sometimes I try to help and give out advice. So by no means is this me saying you guys need to do this. If it makes sense and you want to try it, great. I'm going to try to explain myself. If not, then go about your day. I'm sorry it didn't help. But by no means am I saying this is textbook, exactly how you need to do it. All it is just me sharing information that has helped me along the way. So for today's installment, these aren't necessarily going to be in order. There may be some weeks where I do a couple of them. There may be a couple weeks in between where I don't. It's honestly just whatever is either on my mind, I think either I've talked about, or things that seem to be helping. So in terms of this video, I'm going to call it Don't Break the Wall, Don't Go Through the Wall. None of this stuff is what I'm coming up with. At this point, golfing, this is my 8th year. I've seen pretty much every single possible swing tip, swing idea, little YouTube short, TikTok that you can think of. At this point, I feel like I'm at the place where I have a lot of the knowledge. It's just thinking about it in a certain way and knowing which knowledge to apply and how to do it, and kind of having the difference between real versus feel. So I'm not making any of this up. These aren't any of my super initial proprietary ideas by any means. It's just kind of stuff I've heard, maybe thought about in a different way and trying to relay it. So in terms of this, I'm going to call it Don't Break the Wall, which I'm sure you guys have seen. Essentially keeping your head and your body as relatively stationary as possible. You see some people that really sway, they come off the ball, they do different drills with keeping your head still. For me, the way that I feel it and has been helping me over these past few days is having the feeling where you can still put pressure forward at address, but have a feeling that there's a wall here kind of going up your left side from the outside of your foot, kind of up the outside of your leg. So just imagine having a wall here. Outside your leg, up against here, maybe up against your shoulder, your left side of your ear if you're a lefty. And essentially the feeling that I've been feeling as of late, which has really helped, is just don't feel like you're going to bump or go through the wall. Don't break the wall. So meaning set up, you want to be pretty comfortable of where you're at, and you need to be in a decent position to where if you're lined up in a wonky way, sometimes the only way that you can possibly get to the ball and make contact is by either coming over the top, which you would break right through the wall and whack it. There's different ways where you have to kind of time things up. So you want to set up in a decent spot, but basically the idea is throughout the entire swing, set up, backswing, follow through, feel like there's that wall there on your left side, and you're not going to come super far into it. Again, some of this stuff you may say, you're a coach, you say this is terrible advice. Again, this is just one individual swing thought. I know you want pressure forward, you want to compress the ball, you want to get that shift, all this stuff, the weight transfer, I get it. But I think for some people, they have way too much motion. They're coming over the top, leading to inconsistent strikes, which I used to do. So finally, like I said, for me, the feeling is keeping that wall there and feeling like I'm not going to go through it, which for me, coming back and staying through gets me much more into the slot and has that feeling of coming more from the inside because it forces me to rotate versus coming over the top to get to the ball. It forces me to drop it down here, keep my back to the target to where I'm not going to whack the wall over here, come from the inside, and even the follow through, it gets me in an impact location to where if there was a bar here, because I need to not break through the wall over on the left side, I need to rotate correctly, come through, and I get much more of the feeling of in the slot coming through if there was a limbo bar to where my right ear and my right shoulder kind of comes below that bar. So again, just a little swing thought. Some of these videos may be longer than others, but if I just go through and I just hit some shots, for me, it helps me come through on the inside. That was pretty thin. That wasn't necessarily a great shot. But over the past week or so, I've kind of just had that feeling of kind of staying back behind it a little bit. Helps with driver. This is just a pitching wedge. Seems to help with that. If you're anything like me, you are one of those people where the golf swing is so complicated, although so simple. You have a lot of things going through your head at the same exact time. So I'm the type of person where I need to focus on one, maybe two things at a time if I'm practicing or playing and I want to work on one or two things. So again, this is kind of what that series is about. Focusing on that maybe one or two things. You say, oh wow, maybe that makes sense, I want to try it. I'm sure have 50 different things that are wrong in my golf swing, but I'm the type of person where I can't focus on all those things at once. I need one individual feel or thought, which I focus on for a little bit. Usually it works well until it doesn't, then I move on to the next thing. But again, as of late, setting up, feeling like that back is more towards the target. I have something coming about that. But throughout the swing, feeling like there is a wall here and it forces you to rotate, and as you're coming through, to clear those hips, try to not bump into that wall, and you get into a much better spot. So like anything else, start slow. You don't need to feel like you hit it super hard, but if you just put music on or something, you get into a rhythm and you start feeling that, to where maybe you work on flexibility a little bit, but as long as you try to stay somewhat back on that ball, again, you can still have pressure forward. I just feel like I'm coming through in a much better position, staying much more in the slot. The swing feels way more effortless. The control is better. The contact's better. It's more repeatable. That's kind of what I've been feeling. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I have a tendency to over-explain stuff and say things repeatedly to try to get the point across, but that's the first one. So I'm going to make this a recurring thing. It's going to be a mix between what I think is helpful, what is currently helping me, what's helped me in the past. I have another few things that I have written down for different ideas, but this is the very first episode of the series that I'm calling the tune-up. So hopefully you get something out of it. If you think it's terrible advice, sorry, it's not for you. Maybe catch another one, but that's what I got. So don't break through the wall. Don't push the wall. Try to feel like your head stays a little more stationary. Feel like you're coiling and uncoiling more in a stable, well-balanced position versus swaying super far back, coming super far forward, especially if you're one of those people like I used to do where you get so excited to hit it, you come over the top and you start losing all kinds of posture, flexibility, control, and balance. So those are kind of the main points. Let me know what you think down below. Shout out to the members. And like I always say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.